I could probably count on one hand the amount of times that I have worked a full 40-hour work week since I started working for myself, which this fall will be 10 years. Even though for most of that I did not have children, I was never working a full 40-hour work week because quite frankly, I don't want to. So whether you have kids or you really want to travel or you just want to have like hobbies and a life outside of your business, this is the video for you because I'm breaking down all of the things that I've had to do to make sure that I am still running a 6-figure business while only working 15 hours a week, because that's quite literally all I've done for years now. I think a lot of entrepreneurs assume that they have to just like grind and work their butts off to make a lot of money in their business. And while that can work, I don't want you to. I don't think that's healthy. I want you to have life outside of your business. I want you to have an identity outside of your business. And I also just don't want you to have to work that hard for the amount of money you're bringing in. So let's talk about what I've done to make sure that I can have a rich, fulfilling life outside of my business. Now, if you're new or we don't know each other yet, hello, hi, my name is Mariah. I started running my own business 10 years ago. I started as a freelance graphic designer with no idea what I was doing. I had no business experience. I had no business doing that, but I did it anyway because I was like, you know what? I'm not cut out for the corporate world. I did it for 14 months of my life and thought, you know what? It's not for me. So instead, when I got laid off from my job, I decided, I think I'm going to start freelancing. Where am I going to get clients? I don't know, but I'll figure it out. And I'm really happy to tell you that I did. This has also served me really well over the last decade because it's allowed me to do things like manage a chronic illness. I was diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease probably honestly right as I started my business. And I would need to take full on like 3-hour naps during the middle of the day. And I was able to do that because I was the boss. Now I have 2 little kids. I have an almost 3-year-old and an 8-month-old. And being able to work 15 hours a week and then just be home with them the rest of the time has been such a gift. Now, over the last 10 years, I really pivoted my business. I went from being just like this freelance graphic designer that was fresh out of college, really, with an art degree. It's not like I had like a marketing degree or a business degree. Everything I know, I figured out the hard way. I then made sure that I built my business online so that I was location independent. I didn't want to have to meet my clients in person. I didn't want to have to be stuck in one place for my whole life if I didn't want to live there. And I wanted to be able to work with anyone around the world. I didn't want my client pool to just be my local community. So pretty early on, within the first year, I really started strategically marketing my business on the internet to work with anyone and everyone. And from that was able to build a small design agency where I had 2 other designers that would work under me. I had a project manager that did a lot of the admin stuff, and at the same time had accidentally built up an audience of other creatives that really wanted to learn from me. And so I started creating online courses to teach them what I knew and really loved it. So I decided to shut down my whole design agency 4 or 5 years ago now. I still do a teeny tiny bit of design work here and there when I feel like it, but I went 100% into teaching and mentoring online, and that really forced me to accidentally become a content creator, like fully, truly. I've started working with brands. I create UGC content for brands. I partner with brands on my own page. And then I have really focused a lot on teaching and mentoring other creatives how to build their business online, how to be seen online, increase their online visibility, and create effective content in a strategic way so that they can have clients find them, work less, make more, and build a business that is similar to mine in that all I need is my laptop to do my work and my phone as I'm recording right now. So let's get into the details of like, what have I actually done and set up in my business that has really allowed me to do this, from mindset shifts to actual frameworks to outsourcing, all the things. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Now, I do think a big shift is mindset, unfortunately. Well, maybe fortunately, because, well, no, it's kind of a lot of work still. As someone who is an overachiever and someone who finds a lot of their self-worth in how much they can accomplish, I'm really good at finding things to do to make me feel productive, even if those activities, those tasks aren't actually moving the needle at all in my business. A lot of times A lot of my clients come to me and they're like, I don't know when I'm gonna have time to create content. I don't know how to do this, blah, 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 because I'm so busy. And I feel like that might be you. And if it is, that's okay. However, how many of the tasks that you're currently working on are tasks that are making things just like feel a little more perfect? Or I need to edit this sales page 6 more times and then I can launch it and then I can market it. How much are you working on that makes you feel busy and makes you seem busy, but isn't actually that important? Because I actually would guarantee that there's a significant amount of tasks you're doing right now that are probably kind of a little bit of a waste of time. It feels so counterintuitive to work less in order to make more, but I guarantee you, if you are really focused on the tasks that are actually making you money, that are actually moving the needle forward in your business, you could cut the amount of time you're working in half. You may have heard of the 80-20 rule. This is where you are spending 80% of your time on the 20% of tasks that are actually getting you the results you want. So for me, most of my money, you might be able to say all of my money, comes because of the content I create for the internet in some capacity. Whether it's this video, whether it's my Instagram, whether it's my TikTok, doing graphic design work still, it was my Pinterest posts, my blog, whatever that is, probably all of my content. You could probably put in that 20% bucket that gets me the most results. However, it is the task that I want to put off to last. I'm like, no, I need to finish this client project and this client project and this task is due tomorrow and I have to get this to my VA. When in actuality, this right here is what is making me money. It feels like it's not, because it's not like you watching this right now or like handing me $1 to watch this. In my big overall strategy, this right here is what makes me money, because I have grown my online presence so strategically and effectively through my content that this is where all of my client inquiries come in. So let's get into the 15-hour framework breakdown. Step 1 is I want you to be so aware of doing busy work. We are only doing revenue generating activities. Everything else can either be put to the very bottom of your to-do list, and if you have extra time that week, great, do it, or it gets outsourced, or you don't do it at all. Those are your options. Now, step 2 is really setting up some sort of systems and automation that will serve you from cutting down on the busy work that is still necessary to make money, but it's not necessary for you to do over and over and over again every time by yourself. Now, for some of you that are making good money right now, or at least enough money, I really would hire a VA if you don't have one already. A VA is a virtual assistant, and they can help you with all of that busy work that you don't need to be doing. You can pay somebody to do that for you. You don't need to be responding to all of your emails, or maybe you don't need to be sending all of your invoices or setting up your client workflow in Dubsado, scheduling your social media posts, just listing off all the things my VA does for me. Setting up like actual systems and workflows for all of the tasks that you're doing over and over and over again. Anytime I make a new digital product, she'll make sure that all of the back end stuff works so that when somebody checks out, it actually ends up in their inbox, or they can schedule their call with me or whatever. Like, have somebody else do all of that busy work that is necessary for making money, but doesn't necessarily mean you have to be doing it. Even just a few hours a week will change your life. I swear to God. If you're not in a place where you can hire a VA, set up systems. There are so many different like AI tools and automations and templates you can be setting up. Client management systems like Dubsado or Honeybook. Setting up email sequences that sell for you while you're sleeping. Automate, or outsource, because there's no reason you should be doing all of it all the time over and over and over again. That is working harder and not smarter, and that's not what we're here for. We're not here to work hard, okay? We're gonna work hard on the things that matter, and that's it. Next, let's talk about pricing, because so many of you guys are charging way too little of money. You are worth so much more than you give yourself credit for. Likely, you just don't feel confident or don't feel like the clients you're attracting can afford any more than what they're already paying. And both are valid, but let's fix it. I know it feels like if you charge more, you have to offer more and work harder and deliver more, but I'm here to tell you that's not actually true at all. I don't want you to increase the amount of work or deliverables you are giving your clients. What I want you to do is raise your prices on what you're already delivering. Here's why. Working with higher ticket clients will change your life. Not just because you'll be making more money, but because they're 9 times out of 10 way easier to work with. They trust you. They hired you because you are an expert at what you do. They don't have time to micromanage you because they are running their own successful business or lives or whatever. They understand the importance of an investment, aren't going to hire somebody that they don't implicitly trust with the outcome they want in the first place. Higher ticket clients are going to be the ones that pay your invoice right away. A lot of times higher ticket clients will just pay your invoice in full because they're like, I don't want to pay you a down payment and then pay you another time. They're the ones that are going to trust you to lead this process. They're going to want you to lead this process. And the more you can lean into that and trust that you are worthy of higher rates, easier your clients are going to become. I swear, it's crazy, but ask anybody working with higher ticket clients, they will tell you the exact same thing. Now, how do we get there? It's really, really, really hard to sell anything if you're not super, super confident in the outcomes you provide, the transformations you provide, and your ability to deliver those things. If you don't believe you're worth whatever amount of money you are charging for whatever product, service, etc., it's going to be really hard to sell it. People can feel your lack of confidence just in your interactions. So, a really good way to overcome this is a tactic I like to call price laddering. Say right now, whatever your signature offer is, say you're charging $1,000 for it. The next time you sell that offer, even if you're not doing one-to-one client work, say it's a signature offer of some sort, coaching program or a digital product or an online course or whatever. Say you're selling it at $1,000 now, but you're like, I really would love to sell this at $2,000. Sell it at $1,150 for a little while. And then once you're like, oh wow, people are buying it for that, that's going to boost your confidence and be like, okay, will people buy it for $1,300? So then raise it to $1,300 and let people buy it at that for a little while. And then raise it to $1,500. You see what I mean? So every time you're like, okay, I can confidently charge this rate, I want you to raise it just a little bit so that it feels like a little bit of a stretch, but not too much of a stretch that you're going to suck at selling it because you're going to feel really weird and uncomfortable and not very confident selling it at $2,000. $1,000 to $2,000 might feel like a huge leap for you, but I guarantee you if you're selling something at $1,000, you can sell something at $1,100. You know what I mean? So that's price laddering. That's one way to do this. Next is something that was told to me years ago and has really stuck with me, and something that I still have an issue with because of my own history, untrue beliefs about money and money scarcity just from growing up. I have a really hard time sometimes staying out of potential clients' wallets or potential customers' wallets. What I mean by that is just assuming that somebody can't afford this when I have absolutely no information about whether or not that's true. What is true is that as long as I am very clear about what my offer is, who it's for, who it's not for, and what kind of deliverables, outcomes, or transformations someone is going to get when they purchase that offer, that is all somebody needs in order to make a decision for themselves about their own wallets. Don't count yourself out just because you're like, well, nobody can afford this. You actually don't know that. A lot of people have a lot of money. And as long as they know this is for me or this is not a good offer for me, that's all you need to be doing. As long as you have so much clarity around your offer so that people can self-select whether or not this is a good fit for them, that is what matters. Okay? Sure, you can do things like offer payment plans or make things a little more accessible for people who might not have, we'll just say $1,000 again, to just drop tomorrow. But as a whole, a lot of people can afford that $1,000 product. Don't assume people can't. Stay out of their wallets, right? Now, here's the reality of charging more money and working less hours is that you need to have really solid boundaries and systems in place for when you work with clients or for how you deliver things to your customers, okay? Another big difference of people that are willing to pay more premium prices than affordable ones is they want and need you to lead and guide this process. So there's a lot of you that might still be giving out your phone number to clients and they're texting you on a Saturday, or they're calling you at 9 p.m., or they're sending you a Facebook message with revisions for that project. I need your systems to be on lock because you can't effectively and efficiently work without these boundaries and systems in place. And also, clients that are willing to pay premium prices need you to have a system in place too. The ones that want to run the show for you are the ones that are going to want to pay you the least amount of money. They're going to want to walk all over you. They're going to test all of your boundaries. I need you to have such solid boundaries. I need you to only be talking to people during your normal business hours, whatever that is. For me, I let clients know, like, if you email me on a Friday, I'm with my kids all day on Fridays. I probably won't answer. I sometimes will, but I wouldn't expect it. Monday through Thursdays when I work, I am not going to respond to emails at 8 p.m. at night. Like, I'm not even going to respond to emails 5 minutes after people send them unless I just feel like it. I am setting expectations right from the get-go that, like, I am not accessible 24/7. Don't expect that from me. Here's when I'm available. Here's how we're going to work. Here's where we'll communicate. It's through this email, or it's through form, or it's through this portal, whatever it is. Set expectations. People want to be told what to do and how to work with you. So figure out what is going to be the most effective and efficient way to complete whatever tasks, especially when they involve other people. Another thing I don't do is a lot of meetings. I eliminate as many meetings as I possibly can from my calendar, whether it's like client-wise or just like general networking wise. Especially lately, I've been getting so many invites for networking events. Not only do I not need to network in person because I've created effective content online, I don't have time. I have so many friends already. I don't need to go make more. If it's like a really cool opportunity, then maybe I'll do it. But overall, if I'm saying yes to something, whether that's a client project, whether that's some sort of Zoom meeting or coffee date or whatever it is, if I'm saying yes to one of those things, I'm saying no to those 2 little kids at home. That's way more important to me, especially because I have intentionally built my business so that I don't have to rely on doing a bunch of in-person stuff that takes up hours and hours and hours of my day and time in order to make money. Now, I haven't been working just 15 hours from the get, and honestly, some weeks it's like I need to be working more, and I'm like, how am I going to get all this stuff done? But the reality is, I really only have 15 hours a week. While I used to work like probably closer to 20 to 25 hours a week before I had kids, having kids really forced me to like trim off any of the fat from all of my processes, all of my busy work. And the weeks where I am behind, it's likely because I was doing busy work or said yes to things that weren't actually moving the needle forward and that I shouldn't have said yes to. I'm always learning. I'm still learning, and I'm still a people pleaser in my soul. So this is still hard for me too. But having kids has made it a necessity, and it's been such a gift and such a teaching moment in so many ways. We can talk about that another day. Overall, make sure you're saying yes to only things that really truly matter, because when you say yes to something, you are still saying no to something else, whether that's sleep because you've overcommitted that week, family, time for your hobbies, your health, whatever it is. All right, so let's talk about 4 steps to actually start implementing making more while working less. The first one is really auditing your time. I know many people who actually track their time. There are several apps you can use to do this. The one that comes to mind is Toggl, Toggl, and you can actually track how long you're spending on each activity and then like see what that looks like over a week's time or whatever. I will never be the type of person that does that. Not because it doesn't sound super helpful, but because I am way too type B to remember to toggle on any timer ever. I'm lucky if I know what day it is. So if you are type A enough to do that, I highly recommend tracking your time for a week and then really seeing, okay, here I'm spending a ton of time and I actually don't need to be doing that task at all, or somebody else could be doing that for me or whatever. Find where you can free up your time. If you are like me and not a organized time tracking girly, what I want you to do is every single day, make a list, write your to-do list down, and then circle the top 3 things that are actually going to move the needle forward in your business. And those are the 3 tasks you're going to focus on for the day. If you finish those, then great. You can move on to the other tasks that are on your list, but those 3 things have to be finished before you do anything else. Okay? Now, on that same list, I want you to write down everything that you need to do every day for a week. And I want you to highlight all of the tasks that technically somebody else could do for you, like a VA or a video editor or a social media manager or whatever it is that you hate doing or don't need to be doing yourself. Usually the easiest, most cost-effective answer is going to just be to start with a VA, but that could look different for everybody, right? And there's different VAs that specialize in different things. So finding what works for you is going to be key. But even if you can just take 2 hours off your plate every week and hand it off to a VA, or hire a VA to start setting you up some systems that you can repeat over and over again, it's going to really serve you well in the long run. So highlight everything that's busy work that like you have to get done. It is a requirement in order to make money, but you don't necessarily have to be doing it yourself. And then figure out who could be doing that for you and how much would that cost, and is that an option? Because it really could be. All right, next task, raise your rates. We've talked about this. We're either in a price ladder or we're just going to raise our rates to something that we know we can confidently charge. Start setting up marketing endeavors that are going to attract the type of clients that are willing to pay those prices. If the current clients you're attracting are not those people, I need you to go grab my click-worthy content system. It's in the description below. It's the 15 different frameworks I use for selling through my content. It's going to help you a lot at positioning yourself in order to start attracting opportunities to you so that you don't have to be cold pitching or emailing or like going to in-person networking events to find your next client. Okay? This also might look like just improving your service offerings, getting really, really clear about your messaging and marketing. Again, if you need messaging help, that's essentially like being able to really articulately describe what you do, who you help, how you help them, what challenges they have, what goals they have. I also go over this in my click-worthy content system, also down below. It is a very low ticket offer. You can buy it today and get access immediately. But making sure that you are able to do that so that you can attract those high ticket clients is going to be really, really, really useful. And now step 4 is building systems. What are the most time consuming processes in your business that you can start automating? Whether that's something you have your VA start automating for you, whether that's some sort of AI platform that can automate some of these tasks, whether that's some sort of CRM, which is a customer relationship management software like Dubsado or Honeybook or whatever. Like what systems or platforms or templates need to be put in place to run your business more efficiently? That's the thing, is it feels really time consuming right now, but it's going to free up so much of your time later. And then the bonus tip is, if you can, set up some form of passive income stream. Nothing is truly passive, but having some sort of digital product that doesn't require you to be in your business doing something in order to make money, it's going to help so much. So much, whether that's a course or a product or a software or a program or a AI tool, whatever, like anything that your ideal client is already needing, that you're already marketing to. If there's some sort of offer that you can create that is way more hands-off for you and just has a lot of automated back-end automations to sell and deliver that product, that's going to be chef's kiss, baby. Now, I promise you, if you implement these steps, it is going to trickle through all of your life, your health, your well-being, your family, your hobbies, your happiness, of course, your bank account. I want you to leave in the comments, what's one thing you're going to do today to start this process? I'm going to cheer you on. Now I want you to hit subscribe so that you can be here for my next video. I'm going to be talking all about how I have built an online business where I work 15 hours a week, bring in 6 figures of revenue, work with brands, how I effectively create content, how I get clients to find me, tutorials and tips on editing my content, and quite literally anything else that you want to learn from me. Please let me know. I want to make sure that I'm teaching you any and all the things that I can for free. Times are rough out there, and I just want to share all my information. So let me know what you want to learn about next. And don't forget that in the link down below, I have my free client attraction starter kit and then my low ticket click-worthy content system for you to build upon this as well. And I'll see you in the next video. See ya!